Cruise ship rules, they don't apply to my children. I know better than the ship's captain. You did this on purpose. And deceptive cruise line practices. It's Saturday morning and time for what every cruiser wants. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to this week's video. And we got some new cruise comments for you today. We're going to be talking about parents that think, what the rules on cruise lines should not apply to my children. I'm the parent. I'll decide if the rules apply or not. We have a passenger who believes they should never have skipped that cruise port. The weather was just fine. The cruise line, they did this on purpose. Of course they did it on purpose, and it's ruined my children's vacation. And we have someone who says this is a deceptive cruise line practice. But is it, or did they just not read and understand the itinerary? But let's jump into today's comments. Let's find out, are these people right? Are they wrong? Are they speaking for everybody out there? And do they know what every cruiser really wants? First up today, we're going to talk about rules on cruise ships and some parents that, they don't think those rules should apply to their children. And this actually starts off with a story I read about some parents that had, booked the thermal spa on board a cruise ship. Now, this thermal spa is adults only, which means your kids do not go into the thermal spa. It's pretty self-explanatory, adults only. But there's some parents that don't think that applies to them. So I guess the father was in there with their child, about 5 to 7 years old, playing in the thermal spa. The mom shows up, a crew member comes out and says, "Hey, excuse me, this is an adults only area. The child cannot be here. You would need to take them to a different part of the ship. Take them somewhere else. They can't be here." And according to the story, the mom said something along the lines of, "Well, come on, we got to go. Clearly, they don't want you here." That's what she said to the child. Once again, playing the victim, blaming it on the cruise line for them not following the rules. Adults only, right? Seems easy, seems simple. Now, that's just one example, and that's not even the comment example, because I got another one for you. This one involving the R-rated, adults only, 18 and over comedy show on Carnival Cruise Lines. That's how they post it. It's listed as that in the fun times. It says that there on the placard by the door before you go in. Adults only over 18 comedy show. I don't know why that confuses some parents where they say, well, my children are not over 18, but I'm going to take them there anyway, and then are shocked, surprised, and confused, and of course play victim when they're told they have to take the children out. And they don't ever take personal responsibility. They don't say, I didn't know. They didn't say, oh, okay, our mistake, we will correct it. It's never that. Instead, it's always this. What kind of blank is this, John Heald? My older teens were stopped from seeing the comedy show. There is a difference between an R-rated movie with violence and R-rated Carnival comedians. My 14 and 15-year-old can handle an R-rated comedian. I am the parent. It is my choice, my responsibility. To have them removed tonight from the R-rated show on Carnival Blank was demeaning for them and disrespectful to me. Parents should have the choice, not Carnival. So this individual took two teenagers, a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, into a comedy show that was 18 and over, and then was surprised when they got told they cannot be there, and that it was demeaning and disrespectful that they were told to leave. But here's the question. Is it really demeaning and disrespectful when you are told to follow the rules? Is it demeaning and disrespectful when you're told, hey, this is 18 and over, they are not over 18, they cannot be here? How is that demeaning and disrespectful? Maybe as a parent, it should have been your choice and your responsibility to teach your children that these are the rules that we must follow when we are at somebody else's establishment. Maybe it's demeaning and disrespectful that apparently you don't teach your children that the rules also apply to them. Don't play victim and blame the cruise line because you tried to do the wrong thing. Next up, a comment we've heard multiple times throughout the years. The cruise ship missed a port. Well, the weather wasn't that bad. The captain obviously doesn't know what he's doing. And the only reason the cruise line did this was to make some more money. It's all about keeping the casinos open. It's all about keeping the bars open. It has nothing to do with safety. No, no, no. It's only about the money. And I get being upset that you missed a port you were really looking forward to, but really, to think you know better than an experienced sea captain really just kind of blows my mind. We are on Sunrise and had our visit to Celebration Key abandoned. It was the port we were most looking forward to. We wanted our children to swim in the lagoon and see the parade. The weather was not bad. It was just a ploy for the cruise line to open the casino and bars. Our kids are devastated. There was nothing for 12 and 15-year-olds to do on the boat. We asked for a one-day refund of the cruise or some money to spend on board. Nothing has been done. Nothing has been given. Why? So my question, does anybody honestly believe that the cruise line said, the weather's perfect, it looks great, we would have no problems docking whatsoever, but let's just turn this bad boy around and abandon this stop, because if we do, we can keep the casinos and the bars open. Because it's just unheard of for a cruise line to dock at their own private island, Celebration Key, and hope people get off and still spend money on the private island that the cruise line still benefits from. And of course, the whole cruise is ruined. The kids are devastated because there's absolutely nothing for a 12 and 15-year-old to do on a Carnival cruise ship. Nothing. But I do wonder, is this because the kids were so devastated? Or is it because the cruise line wouldn't give them any money back over a missed port due to bad weather? And finally, when you book a cruise, you probably want to actually read your itinerary, understand your itinerary. Seems like it would be common sense if a person would actually read and understand what they're booking before they complain about it, or before they listen to somebody on the internet saying, well, oh, this is a deceptive practice, when in reality, if they'd just done a little bit of reading and understanding, they might have gotten it, and it would have saved them from writing in all this. I'm going on the Carnival Panorama with my family, 1214. DW saw this on Cruise Critic. Care to explain and answer. I'm a Platinum, currently cruising toward Cabo for what was sold as an overnight full 2-day stop here. Having done multiple overnights on other lines, I was excited to make evening plans in this port. We have all just discovered that Carnival is the devious line that does not actually overnight in the port, despite its advertised promise. The ship will actually depart port that first night by 6 p.m. to sail just far enough out so they can open their casino and return the next morning. Lots of grumbling and growling disappointment is being heard and felt throughout the ship as people are realizing the underhanded tactic in play. Why are they even bothering to do 2 days here? Add a third port, even another sea day. But don't mislead your customers and generate this kind of resentment. Shame on you, Carnival. We plan to spend the night in Cabo, so are you saying we cannot? Stop taking credit all the time for helping people and talking about yourself every day, and concentrate on real cruise concerns. Now, so just to break this down, this was basically 2 comments. The first one was the person that wrote in this comment. The second half, starting with I am Platinum, was the comment that they read over on Cruise Critic. And this is where reading and understanding your itinerary is very, very important. See, in Cabo, the Carnival Panorama doesn't dock. No dock. It is a tender port. So the ship pulls up, drops anchor, and they run tenders. They do run tenders for 2 days, but the tenders stop at 6 p.m. at night and pick up again the next morning, meaning they don't run tenders all night long. And it reads like this person thought the ship was going to pull up to dock, drop the gangways, and they would just be able to come and go for 2 days. And some cruise lines do that in some ports. But that's not the case for Cabo. It's a tender port. And obviously, for safety reasons, you don't run tenders all night long. Right? Simple, easy, quick to understand. And had they actually read what they booked, they would have known that. So it's not the cruise line hiding anything. It's not the cruise line being deceptive or anything of the sort. You just didn't bother to read what you booked. And this is a question that Carnival and John Heald, their brand ambassador, has answered before. On this particular Cabo stop, that's 2 days, do you want to spend the night in Cabo, and can you do that? Yes, you can. You go down to guest services, you let them know, hey, I'm going to hop on the tender today. I'm going to spend the night in port. I'm going to come back on the tender tomorrow. That's all you have to do. You just have to let them know. Now, there's a caveat to that, though. And if you ever are planning to take this cruise and do something like that, something you do have to know. If you get on the tender on day one and go into port and plan to spend the night, and hypothetically some bad weather comes in overnight and the ship cannot operate the tenders the next day, you're now on your own to get back home if they can't run tender operations. So there is a little bit of a risk. Pay attention to the weather. Just something to know in the back of your mind that, yeah, you can get there, but if they don't tender the next day, you may not be able to get back. But it absolutely can be done. And one last little thought. I am platinum, which means you've sailed all the nights necessary to reach platinum status. And at this point in time in your cruising journey, you haven't learned to read and understand your itinerary? I don't know. Sounds like a you problem, doesn't it? And that is going to be our video this week for what every cruiser wants. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with these people? Are they right? Are they wrong? Are they speaking for everyone out there? And do they know what every cruiser wants? And if you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.